Hello my loves and happy Wednesday. Wow, January already is pretty crazy. Who can believe what has happened already in January this year of 2020? So many things are going on in the 3D world, but also on many other planes that I guess we're not aware of. And what I would say is, whilst we can be aware of what's going on in the world and we can send our love and our collective consciousness to places like Australia that are having a terrible time at the moment with these fires. And I have actually, in the meditation tonight, the 10 p.m. meditation tonight, I have actually put a segment in there for Australia as well, for us, all of us, to try and help to bring the rains to Australia. I had heard that it had started to rain a little bit. I really hope that that is true. And, you know, if there's anything else that we can do together, all of us, then let's try and do it. But Australia aside, what I would say is, as much as we can be aware of the things that are going on in the 3D world at the moment, and I think it is good to be aware of it, make sure that you keep your energies and your intentions firmly grounded within the 5th dimensional consciousness. So peace, love. Do not allow yourself to get triggered, even though there is so much going on at the moment. Do you know, it's very hard not to be triggered. There's lots of things happening on the planet that make me so angry, the top of my head could literally pop off. But I keep reminding myself to stay in my higher self, to stay in the higher realms of consciousness that I have access to, and to not allow myself to be triggered by some of the things which are happening on this planet that I find absolutely abhorrent and unbearable. And on that topic, a few people, not a lot, but a few people reached out to me from the last video that I recorded, telling me that my video was too long, that 2 hours was too long. So I have a little tip for those people that thought that my video last time was too long, and that 2 hours was too long an amount of time for one to be able to sit there and listen to somebody talk about ascension. There is an amazing thing about technology, particularly videos on YouTube, and that when you press play on that video, there's a little square on that video, and if you press that square, it literally stops me from talking. It's almost a little bit like magic. It's like stopping time. So you can press that square, and then you can go to work, you can go to the gym, you can cook yourself a nice meal, you can read a nice book, you can go for a walk in nature, you can work with crystals, you can smell some really nice incense, all of those things that you do. And when you decide that you're fed up of all of that and you'd like a little bit more talking about ascension, all you have to do is go to that video and press the triangle button. And when you press the triangle button, again the magic begins, because it starts the talking from the exact same place that you originally stopped it. And you can take all the time in the world to watch that 2-hour video. You can make that 2-hour video fit into your life perfectly in little 5-10-minute bite-sized chunks. However it's best for you to fit that 2-hour video into your life, you can do it. just by using that square button. And for the people that still feel that that's not a workable solution for them, that they still would like the videos to be a little bit shorter, what I would say to those people is it's probably best if you just don't watch them. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best thing for all concerned. Just don't watch them. If they're too long, just watch somebody else's YouTube channel. Or better still, make a YouTube channel yourself and record small videos and post them. That sounds like a workable solution. Because I am very talky. I can't help it. It's just who and what I am. That's probably why I am a hypnotherapist, because I'm very inquisitive, I have a very active mind, and I do like to talk a lot, especially about things that are very important, like the ascension of our planet, which to me, there is no more important topic than that at the moment. So if my videos are a little bit too long, I would probably just not watch, just watch somebody else. Or alternatively, as previously mentioned, utilise the square button on the YouTube channel, which is an amazing facility, which when you press that square button, it just stops me talking. I think sometimes my husband wishes that I had an actual real life square button, probably here, that he could just press, that would freeze me in time. But unfortunately for him, alas, there is no such button. But you guys do have one. So utilise the square button. If the videos are too long and you're finding them quite annoying and I'm going on a little bit too much and it's boring, just use that square button. And you know, it might take you all week to listen to the 2-hour video. And isn't that wonderful? Because you can do it at your own leisure. So in the sport of, trying to make the videos a little bit shorter, I have got an amazing video for you this week. And I mean, it's an amazing session. This client who came to see me, absolutely, the session just, I know I say this a lot, but I have a soul that is very joyful, very childlike in many ways, which helps get me through life. And my soul, no matter how much crap I have had in my life, and trust me, I've had a lot, my soul chooses to see the wonder in everything. And that is a choice. So for me, this client session was like, just like experiencing heaven, basically. It's a very different kind of session. You don't get many sessions like this one. It was very long and very informative. So what I'm going to do this week is record 2 videos. So it's not such a very long video, and I will share the second part of this session next week. But this is part 1. And this session, I've called it Elven Guardians of the Planetary Lifesource. Because as we will find out very quickly in this session, this man went into a life as an elf. So I'm going to read it from this point onwards. So he goes straight in. People that are always ready for a hypnotherapy session, we don't even normally get to the point where we have to put them on the cloud, which is a technique that we use, a Dolores Cannon technique when we practice quantum healing. Many people who are very, very ready for a hypnotherapy session and a past life session will just go straight there at the beautiful place. And that's exactly what this guy did. So he says, it's very lush where I am. There's green hills. a few trees going down to a lake. I think it's a lake. Describe the lake for me. It's very dark blue. I can't really see into it as it's so dark. What else are you aware of around the lake? It's got a sandy edge to the lake. There's driftwood there, so maybe it's like an inlet from the sea. So maybe a bit like a loch, but it's straight out to sea, and around me it's very green, very hilly, not quite mountainous. So that's a very good descriptive starter as to where we are. What else can you see in this place other than the lakes, hills and sandy driftwood? I can see a person on the hill with a wooden shield and sword, and he's kind of, I can't work out whether he's waving at me and beckoning me or trying to shoo me away. He's got a headband and his hair is like puffed up on top of his head. So he's got a lot of hair and the headband is making it puff up on top of his head. Describe the headband in more detail. Looks like it's woolen, it's red, and it's got yellow. It's like a zigzaggy yellow, like an elongated star from the middle of it. The guy looks a bit Neanderthal, to be honest. He's got like craggy skin. He's holding a sword. It's a very rudimentary sword and a wooden shield, and the shield looks a bit like a Viking shield. And if you look down at yourself in this place where you are and you look up your body, what do you look like? It's very dark, this place, and it's not quite easy to see things. I don't know why. Do you have a sensation of what you look like? A feeling? I seem to think I'm struggling to see, to be honest. So then at this point I give him a suggestion that things will start to become clearer. So I say, as you focus on yourself, the details will become brighter and you will be able to see yourself clearer. I've got grey leather boots on that come right up my leg, up to the knee, and they're quite pointed. And I've got a grey cloak on and long reddy hair with a braid in it. Do you feel male or female? And as the penny drops, he seems quite shocked, I guess, at this point that he appears to be female, because in real life this guy was like a 6'5" massive guy. So he says female, actually. Describe yourself in more detail. You said you had long red hair in a braid. So he says, I have long thin arms, I'm quite tall and slender, and I have pointed ears like an elf. I'm very tall though. My hair goes up at the back and stands up at the back with a golden metalwork support, and a huge ponytail comes out of the back of it and goes down my back. I've got a hood on my back and it drags down my back. It's got fur around the edge. I've got a belt around my waist and then trousers and a cross brace going over my shoulder from one side. I have a long sword by my side in a scabbard. It's very ornate and jewelled, but the jewels are not so much the feature, it's the handle. The handle is woven in golds and blues and golds. It diagonally sweeps around the handle. It feels comfortable to the touch, to hold. It's got a golden lattice, like, not lattice, it's like gold strings of metal as a hand shield that go down to the cross bit across the sword to stop your hand from slipping down the handle. It's got two edges to the sword, but the blade is quite thin and narrow. But it's a very strong sword and it glistens. But there's no sunlight here and it's quite dark. I feel like it's getting towards night time, or it's very misty. And this sword, do you feel like you use it often? Yes, I know how to use this sword. And is there anybody else there with you? Or is it just you looking up at this man? There's an ornate boat behind me in the water. It's like a crimson colour. The boat looks metal and it's got bits of gold on it. It's got a sail and a mast that's been dropped. It appears that I've sailed in. I've come into this inlet. And why is it that you've come here? What's the purpose? I feel like I've come searching for something, maybe. Have you been to this place before? I'm not sure, but I know of this place. Further down the edge, the sandy edge, the hill kind of comes out, and this Viking-looking character is still upon the hill. And on the edge of where this hill kind of outcrops, it comes out from the side of the hill a bit like a rooftop in a way, and it's all green. And so further down, as I'm walking now down, I'm keeping my eye on the Viking looking creature. As I'm walking down, I still can't work out whether he's there to try and scare me away or tell me something. He seems frightened that I'm going to go into this place. I go further down this grassy and rocky outcrop that has an opening to it. It's like tree roots, but I can't see any trees there. And these tree roots hold this sandy embankment together. And there's an opening. And there's lots of shells on the floor. As I walk up, the shells pretty much come out down to the water's edge. There's lots of shells on the floor. And I can't work out if these shells are from someone eating there and dropping the shells, or what the significance of these shells are. I was very puzzled by that. What do these shells look like? Almost like cockle shells or whelk shells. And as I walk in the front of the opening, I can't see the Viking person now. I'm just stood there looking into what looks like a cave. What do you feel about this cave? What feeling do you get? It's an entrance to somewhere. And what do you feel that you want to do? Why are you there? I've got my hand on my sword. And now, as I'm connecting to my mind's eye, I can see that there is a person. But this person has a hyena's head. It's not a human head. God, I live for sessions like this. I literally live for sessions like this. And at that point, when he mentions he's got somebody in his mind's eye, so basically he's utilising telepathy, and he's getting a warning impression in his mind's eye of this individual that's there in this place that's got a hyena's head. And I'm like, yeah, I live and breathe for this. Just give me this every day. This is why I came. So then I say, this person that you're holding in your mind that has the head like a hyena, do they feel familiar to you? They don't faze me at all. And he got quite, I don't know, the tone of his voice, it was a bit warlike at this point. They don't faze me at all, but I do draw out my sword and hold it in front of me, and the light from the sword gives some illumination, but I am careful not to walk too quickly into this space. Why is that? Because I don't know what's there yet, and I've just got the picture of this hyena man. I can describe what they look like as well. They have like a medieval brown leather tunic on and leather suede boots. I've got my sword held out now, as the reason I can see one in my head is because there is one there. They know I'm there as well, but they are hiding in the shadows. Do they live in this underground place? No, they should not be there. Why are they there? They are trying to get into a place where they should not be, and I've come to get them out. You've come to defend it. Is that what you do? They are seeking something that is in this cave or passageway, and I have come to stop them from getting to it. Do you know what it is that they seek? Kind of looks like an urn, but it's not an urn. It's rock, it's yellow and gold in colour. It glimmers, it's got a glow to it, and it's a source of power or energy, and they have been sent there to get it. And these are not nice creatures. They've been sent to get that power source so it can be used for something bad. And I've come to stop them from getting it. And they fear me because they know that I am very powerful. The magic within me makes me very powerful. What is the purpose of this urn-looking type rock, this source of energy? What is the function? I'm not sure yet. I've got to get to it, but I've got to get these creatures out of the way. And where did these creatures come from? When did they arrive? I don't know. I don't know how they've got here. How did you learn about these creatures? Who was it that asked you to come to this place? The golden urn or the energy within this place called out to me. That's what I do. I protect me and my kind. I protect. What are you and your kind? What would others describe you as? Elves. We are very tall, very big. We are bigger than humans, and we have magic. It is an energy that we have, that we are able to draw into ourselves. How do you do that? I cannot explain it. We just have the knowing to do it. It's just part of who we are. Do you always work alone, or do you work with anyone else? Alone. That's all that is needed. Me. These creatures are very fearful now. There's quite a few of them, but they know that if they stay here, they will be destroyed. They've not been able to reach what they have been sent here for. So they know it's now or never. They've got to try and capture this prize, before I stop them. 2 of them break off and run off down into a gallery, while the others come out of the shadows and stand in the opening to the gallery. This makes me angry. Why does this make you angry? Because they are trying to take something that is not theirs, and they are trying to use the power for bad things when that energy is meant for good things. I will not allow them to do it. I put my sword back in my sheath and I hold my hands above my head, and I conjure up a ball of energy between my hands, and I shout to the creatures to leave now. But all they do is just grab each other's arms and stand together to make a fence to stop me from getting through. So I hurl the ball of red blazing energy towards them, and they just basically explode. It's, oh God, it's all over the place. It's all over the entrance to the walls. It's just bones and flesh. They're not there anymore now. They've been blown into bits of meat and bone. And he seemed really, really disgusted and shocked by the fact that that had happened, and also very sad that it had to happen in that way. What was that energy that you conjured between your hands? Anger. It was anger. So now I move forward as I know that they are not a threat anymore. I feel sad that they did not heed my warning and move. But I cannot feel sad for too long, as they did have the chance to leave, and they refused. It was their choice. They tried to stop me. Now I pick up my pace and, oh, now I'm a man. I've changed from that red-haired princess-looking elf that I came in on the boat to pass the Viking, and now I am a man, a tall elven man with long blonde hair, and my tunic seems to be more armour-like padded. There's shoulder armour. I still have the sword. I have the same colour apparel and the cloak, but my face has changed. It's hardened to more of a male form. And my hair has changed, and now it is blonde, but it has a red tinge to it, like fire. I don't know whether the anger has done this, but I move forwards very quickly, as I need to get down the gallery. And I can hear these 2 creatures screeching at each other, trying to find what they are looking for. They see me and split up, and I cannot have them in this place. It's like they are defiling the sanctity of this place. So I draw up my sword and I swipe it towards one, and out of the end shoots a bolt of lightning, and it shoots straight at this creature and it cuts it down dead. And the other one sees what has just happened to this one and screams. It starts running back up the gallery trying to get out. I have to make a decision. Do I kill the creature or do I let it go? I can't afford to let what they have seen here get out. So as it gets close to me and I get close to it, I cut it down with my sword. But the blade goes through it like butter, and the creature dissolves into nothing, which makes me realise that this one wasn't real. This one was an energy taking on the form of one of these creatures. It was probably the energy that brought the others here to carry away the physical thing. I don't know, but basically my sword, it cut through it like butter. There was no resistance. It dissolved into nothing. What do these creatures want with this energy source? They want to use the energy for bad things. I don't know. They could use it for anything. If they can harness that energy, that light energy, they can use it for anything. And I cannot allow that to happen. Why is this place so precious? You said it defiled the sanctity of this place to have these creatures there. This energy that emanates from these glowing rocks, it's what keeps the grass green. It's a life force. It looks after. It's part of the earth. It's what keeps the earth or this place in a good condition. If the energy wasn't there in these rocks, the whole area would die. The trees would die. The plants would not grow there. There would be no food, no plankton in the sea. It's an energy that sustains life, that is in these rocks. It emanates from these rocks. And this place where you are, is it the earth or is it somewhere else? It's hard to say. I don't know where I'm from. I'm just there. I'm just present. I've come from somewhere as I've come on the boat. But I feel like I've come from a different dimension. I've come from a place of sanctuary. Now inside this cave, this gallery, I'm underground. And the whole opening is, it's illuminated. It's illuminated by this golden energy, which is just sat in. It's like the earth comes up like a canopy. It's very sandy, a bit like a canopy on a 4-poster bed, but it's made out of sandy earth. And it's just in the middle of this huge cavern, which is open. It seems to be, the roof is like, it hasn't really got walls, but it's like hardened, dry, fossilised roots that come up from the floor to the ceiling. And it's like a structure that holds everything up, like a lattice work of, it's an irregular lattice work of roots, but they're like rocky or grey roots. I suppose it could be wood, but they hold up everything. And there's illumination. The whole place has got this yellow glow to it. Where do you feel that that yellow glow comes from? Because obviously I'm not in his head, I can't see what he can see. So I'm just trying to get a purchase on where this glow is coming from. This energy emanates out from this, it's like a rock in a way. It's not an urn, it's like a rock. And this rock is in the middle of this canopy, in the middle of this cavern. And this cavern carries on. So I carry on walking. But then I fear that the creatures could return. So I walk back up the gallery and I cast a spell on the opening that makes it close. And in the session, this guy was utterly astounded by this because, you know, this guy's a very, in real life, in this incarnation, this guy's a very, very matter of fact, very down to earth guy. And the fact that he is experiencing uttering a spell, uttering words which causes this opening of this cave to close, just blows his mind. It took him ages to carry on talking because he was really shocked and astounded. He says, I utter some words and the opening closes up. So I am now sealed inside this gallery and I know that no one else can get through. So I say, so what happens now? I walk back down to that energy source, that rock, and I put my hands upon it, and I just feel the energy flowing through me, and I feel my whole body glowing. I feel the power that emanates from this glowing rock. How does that feel? It feels sensational, and it's making me grow stronger and stronger and stronger. Describe this rock. It's like a cube in shape, but an irregular cube, more of an oblong. It's rounded on the edges, and it's got ridges in it, and it just glows. I take my hands off of the rock, and I look at my hands, and they are glowing, and I feel my whole face is burning, but gently, a nice warm glow. I feel so powerful. I carry on walking past the canopy where the rock is. I walk further down into the gallery. As I walk further down, it narrows, and there's water. It's like crystal, like dark crystal water. I can see different colours in it, like sapphire and diamond colours in the water. And I'm walking on like a rocky ridge, and again the lattice roots are on either side of me, but it's narrowed down. And I'm walking on the ridge, which is like a pathway. I keep looking at the water. It looks so pure, but very dark. There's less light down in this end of the cavern. So I draw out my sword, and it immediately gives off light, so it lights the way up in front of me. I keep walking, and I'm still on this quite uneven, thin ridge of a path. You could easily lose your footing and fall, either between that and the side of the tunnel, or fall into the water on the other side. He keeps mentioning that water, and I get a knowingness from him because he's mentioned this water a few times. So I just ask him, how do you feel about that water? It's very pure, but it's very dark. I can't see into it. Everything has gone a lot darker now. What is it that gives your sword its light? It's got energy in it. It's got magic in it. It gives off light. I put more energy into it from the energy that I got from the rock to brighten up the place. But I still can't see very far in front of me, and I decide to put my sword back in the sheath as it's getting difficult to walk and keep my sword out in front of me. So instead I decide to create a ball of light from my hands that I can hold in front of me. I've got so much energy in me now from the rock that I can use some of it to create this ball of light energy. So I create this ball of energy with my hands, and I put my other hand over the top of it so that it doesn't shine back into my eyes. It shines forth like a flashlight, and it illuminates the whole place. It's coming out of the lattice roots walled tunnel into a rocky cavern, and it starts to go down, and there's the water turns into a waterfall, but a cascading waterfall down a slope over the rocks going down. The path starts going down, but there are steps hewn into the rock. So I start to descend going down. They're quite craggy, these rocks. I keep walking down, and I can hear the water splashing at the side of me. this is kind of sloping, it's a kind of sloping downwards shaft. I carry on walking, I keep walking down quite a way. There's quite a depth to it. You can tell he's actually doing this in real time, which, you know, somnambulists are very far and few between. So this for me was just an absolute pleasure to conduct this session. He's literally walking into, we're either walking into inner Earth or inside of another planet. He never could tell me whether it was Earth or whether it was somewhere else. He just wasn't sure. So he says, I keep walking down, there's quite a depth to this. I shine the energy ball up against the walls, and it's like a dark blue granite. It's unusual, very unusual. Not what you would expect to see. There are sparkles of glass or crystal in the granite, which you would not expect. You would expect granite to be nothing but granite, but this has got specks of crystal in it, and the crystals draw the light from the energy ball, which is in my hands, and the rocks now start to light up. So the rocks are absorbing the light from the energy ball, and all the tunnel and the shaft in front of me starts to glow. So all of the walls are glowing now and lighting my way, as well as having this energy ball flashlight in front of me. Wow. I'm still going down. I'm gingerly, carefully placing my feet on these steps as I go down. We did that for a while. And then eventually he said, it's starting to flatten out now, and the water is running into a lake. And there's like a glowing light under the surface of the water. And at that point I was like, wow, I know something really, really cool is going to happen here. I don't know what, but I know something really cool is going to happen. He continues. I can see like in the distance, in the middle of this lake, and this lake is now in a very open cavern. It's still quite dark, but there's like, in the water I see this green glow. It's not too deep, this cavern, but there's like a huge pearl in the water. What? And this huge pearl is giving off this green light that gives some illumination, not a great amount. It's under the water. It's like a huge pearl, but it's also got some silver metalwork around it. It's like a ring in a way. It's just the top part of a ring that would normally sit on top of a ring and hold a pearl. I'm looking round for where the path leads to that I'm on, but the path stops and the water goes up against either side of this cavern. So the only way to go forward on this path is to go into the water. And then he takes a huge intake of breath. He goes, and I'm like, what? And then he says, I've been here before. I know what the pearl is. I step down into the water and I walk towards the pearl. And I walk down, walking into the water, and gradually it starts to get deeper and deeper into the water until just my head is above the water. And I just decide to put my head under the water. But before I do this, I take as deep a breath as I can. And I go under the water and I start walking down towards this pearl. And under the water, I can see that this pearl is massive. It's huge. The pearl is sat in the sandy bed of this lake, and it has silver ornate metalwork around it. I walk up to the pearl. I'm totally submerged now, and I put my hands on the pearl, and the energy that I took from the rock shoots down my arms and into my hands and straight into this pearl. And as that happens, the pearl opens up just like a doorway. It peels open at the front, and there's like an orange mist inside, and I walk in to the orange mist, and the outer shell of the pearl closes straight behind me, and I am in this orange mist. And I just stand there, and then this mist starts to clear, and a woman walks towards me, and she's got a peculiar headdress on. My first thoughts are it looks a bit like a Tibetan headdress. And another woman walks up at the side of her, and they both walk towards me. They look quite oriental looking. They've got quite ornate clothing on. They grab my hands and they start to pull me. And I walk with them. And they are guiding me. And we go down a little embankment and we walk onto a path. But it's like a bridge, and it's made of like yellow golden shells, shell material, like what you would see that shells are made out of. And if you remember at this point, the entranceway into that place where that magical rock was that led down into this underground world had shells at the entrance. So it was almost like, to me, I feel about that those shells were almost like a reminder to somebody who's been out in the 3D world for a long time and potentially maybe lost their way a little bit. Those shells are a trigger, a reminder that inside this cave where these glowing energy source rocks are, if you keep going down, you'll find the entrance to this underground world that's in a different dimension. And it's funny that in this world that this guy goes into, the first thing he sees is these bridges that are made out of shells. My goodness. So then he says, I walk with these two ladies along this platform bridge, and then we walk towards this, it's a bit like a house, it's got a roof. I look down and I can see really strange looking trees. It looks a bit surreal, to be honest. They look almost like cardboard cutout trees. They're like plain colours. There's no texture to the trunk, and the tops of the trees are like almost like green candy floss. But there's lots of yellow trees as well, different shades of yellow. I walk towards this building, this type of house, at the end of the Shell Bridge, and there's like a gateway. It's very oriental looking, like a 5th dynasty Chinese gateway. I'm not sure what one of those looks like. It's got white dragons engraved into the sides of this gateway. It's got doors. It's very kind of Chinese or Japanese temple doors. These 2 women are still holding my hands. They hold out their other hands and grab the round handles of these doors, and they pull both of these doors open. And inside, it's like a palace. There's a throne. It looks like a throne at the very end of a mosaic tiled floor. You walk through the gates, then you walk down some steps onto a tiled mosaic floor that's got red tiles around the edges and tall columns at the sides. I look down and I see that there's steps up to this golden throne that's got like a seat and a back to it, but it's curved. It curves out at both sides. The arms, where the arms of the chair are like scrolled over, and it's too big for the person who is currently sat on it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, who is sat on this throne inside of this secret dimension that's inside a huge green glowing underwater pearl that's in a lake that's under the surface of the planet? Wow. And he says, it's a woman. She's got a very tall, kind of bejeweled, pearled headdress on. Not a pearl necklace, pearl headdress. And it's like some kind of a crown, but it's very tall and it points up in a spiral. So this headdress spirals round with pearls. And she has got very long blonde hair. She's sat there with a very big smile on her face. She seems very happy. Why is she happy? She takes off the headdress and places it on the floor, and she slides off of this throne, and she's got like a silver dress on. It's very metallic looking, made from like a silver material, and the dress is full length down to the floor. She lays her headdress on the floor. She looks up and laughs and smiles and comes running towards me. At first, I feel a little bit shocked, and then I see her and I realise that I know her. I pick her up and I spin her around, and she says she's missed me so much. Why have you been parted? I have to go off and protect the earth. I travel all over. I'm saying the earth, but I don't know if it is the earth. It's a planet. That's all I can say for sure. And now I'm back in the other dimension now. So the pearl, the gigantic pearl, was a doorway through to the other dimension. And now I have come back to where I normally reside. So that is part one of this incredible session about this Elven Guardian that protects the planet. I'm going to record it in two parts because it is very long, and don't want to upset all of those people that do not like the 2-hour long videos. So yeah, I'll record the second part now, but I will post that next week. So you will be able to see part 2 next week. So just before I close this video today, I would like to remind you guys that I will be doing the meditation tonight to step up the energies around the activity that the light are doing on the planet to progress planetary ascension. So the purpose of this meditation is to bring more light from all of us that comes from source down into Gaia's core, and also to link up the light from all of our home planets as well, to create a connected net of light all the way down to Gaia, to give her a boost throughout the next few months in order to bring us to a point where we are able to ascend, basically. I wanted to do something to step up what I am doing. I'm already currently trying my hardest. I heal people physically, face to face, in real life. I only do 3 sessions a week because I'm a mother with young children, and I like to spend as much time as I can with my children because they're wonderful. So I only do 3 sessions a week, so my sessions are quite limited, but I heal people physically every week. I then transcribe the sessions that I feel are of interest to people from a lightworker's perspective. I record these YouTube videos and post them. I also write books regarding disclosure topics and different planets and inner earth, in order to try and wake up the sleepers, to try and wake up the mass population. I write books to help people with regards to preparing for hypnosis sessions. I write books with regards to raising your vibration for ascension. I do all of this stuff, but I'm very conscious of the fact that we are in the final stages now, and I came here to aid in the ascension of Earth. So I want to do everything that I physically can. So when ascension happens, I know I can turn around and say, well, I literally pulled out all of the stops. I gave my all for this. So I wanted to organise a meditation every Wednesday at 10 p.m. UK time in order to, for those people who want to join, for us to join our collective light and give Gaia a boost, but also it's a way for us to boost our own personal frequencies as well, which in turn then also helps the planetary ascension, because the frequency that we are carrying around on the planet is then a much higher frequency by all of us pooling our light together. So I recorded a guided meditation at the weekend for those people who wanted to join into a guided meditation. You do not have to join into that. That's absolutely fine. You can do your own personal meditation. This is entirely up to you. But if you do want to do a guided meditation, there is one on my YouTube channel. I shared it over the weekend, I think on Sunday. The first part of the video, as always, is me talking. So you might want to just skip that on. Or start watching it at 10 to 10, something like that. But the actual meditation itself starts around the 9 minutes 30 mark. So when you play the video, if you skip it on to 9 minutes 30, that is when the actual meditation starts. So you'll need to start the video at 9 minutes 30 seconds in at 10 p.m. UK time in order to join in with the collective meditation. I hope you got all that. Even I'm confused, and I did it. When I was actually doing the meditation, I had no idea where I was going to go with it. All I know was that I wanted to bring Source down through all of my multidimensional parts and connect that to Gaia, bring in all of the frequencies from all of the other amazing planets, star families, star beings that are helping us here with Ascension, ask them all to join their frequencies to us. Then the meditation sends healing and rain to Australia, and then it sends healing and light to all other parts of Gaia right now that need stabilization in frequency due to there being pockets of darkness on the planet, which are trying to destabilize everything. And then we go to New Earth, and we spend some time on the New Earth plane. And I will give you a little warning at this point. I cry my eyes out in the guided meditation when we go to New Earth. I could not help that. I'm very, very sorry. I know I will get people complaining that I cried, but I mean, please, before you complain about me crying, I am human. Give me a break. I have family on New Earth who were there, who I saw on the New Earth plane during the meditation. So it was very powerful and very moving for me, which is why I cried. Also as well, don't ever wear black liquid eyeliner if you're going to record a meditation video, because you will, or it's very likely that you will end up looking like a member of KISS, or alternatively Alice Cooper, as you will find out, no doubt, at 10 p.m. if you join into that meditation. You've never seen anything as scary in your life, but at least that shows you that I'm real. I'm a real person. I cry. My heart chakra is wide open and I feel emotions so strongly. That's why I'm here. That's why I came, to try and encourage people to connect with their hearts again, with what it means to be human, and to connect with your brothers and sisters all over the planet in light and in love, in order for us to help Gaia make her next transition into new fifth dimensional consciousness, and for us to go along with that ride with her. And I am ready. And people have contacted me actually already from Sunday saying that they've done the meditation already and that they have received massive upgrades and downloads whilst doing that meditation. And I personally received a huge one. When the energy moved out of my body of the download that I received, you can see me physically slump on the video because I felt the energy leave. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful meditation. Sorry about all the snivelling in it, and all the snot and all the tears, but I am real and I do feel things very deeply, and I'm here to encourage people to open their hearts and connect with their planet in order to bring about this planetary ascension. So, sorry, not sorry. And very quickly before this goes on, oh gosh, I'll be in trouble again, won't I? Just wanted to mention that I am booking into March now. So if you want to come and see me for a session, I would love to meet you. I'd love to see you and take you on your journey of self-realization, and to introduce you to all of your multidimensional parts. And if you would like to book, I do all of my bookings via my website, which is www.laurawhitworthqhht.com. You can either click on the Book Now button, which all that does is launch you to the bottom of my website where the appointments are. If you just see a video of me after you've clicked on Book Now, keep scrolling down and the appointments are there. Alternatively, if you don't click on the book now button, just scroll all the way down my website to the bottom, and that's where all my appointments are. And you can book online, and I would love to see you. The only thing that is left to be said is have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next week for part 2 of this Elven Guardian session. I will still be wearing the same clothes next week because I'm recording it this week. So yeah, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. And hopefully I'll see you on the meditation and you will join your light with us in order to bring about planetary ascension as soon as possible. Let's show Gaia we're ready, and we are. Until next week, guys, make sure you keep vibrating high. Love always. Bye.